Yeah, I guess we'll start or whatever. AI taking her gerbs. Um, that should be the title of the podcast. AI is taking your gerbs.
Cheers.
All right. Yo, what's cracking, folks? Welcome to episode 2 of the Goo Crew podcast. And yeah, today we're talking a lot about how Josh and I have deployed advanced technology to help us in painting and other things, but mostly painting, which is AI, which I know many folks may not have heard of, but yeah, no, it's pretty much everywhere right now. So, which Josh, you were kind of, I would say you started using it before I did, at least for some of the admin stuff you were doing. Where did you kind of start using the AI assistant stuff?
Newsletter.
Newsletter.
So I
Okay.
started writing a newsletter for one of our YouTube groups we started a few years ago. And then I was like, man, because you're writing and you're like, man, I want to make sure I'm doing this right. And I was pretty nervous about sending out a newsletter, especially like your first one or first two.
Now, who
Like,
is this newsletter going to?
it was to our YouTube audience.
Okay.
And then shortly after that, after I started sending the newsletters, we did one for our clients, our Handiworks painting clients, which I was more nervous about because I'm like, well, these are like our actual clients, the real people
Yeah,
that I
like
know,
real people that we're
and
actually
I
going to
don't
interact
want to
with.
be like piss them off. And then, but then it's kind of like, all right, I'm just gonna send it. But then I would use AI to be like, hey, I would start prompting it. Hey, could you run this through Chat GPT? And could you just edit this for clarity? Can you make sure there's no redundancies? Can you make sure that just like sounds good?
Right.
And it was awesome. And but it's more of like the prompts. You could make it sound any way you want, but if you just say, "Write this for me," it was not good. It's a bunch of the AI slop, as the kids call it. But when you actually write it, it's a rough draft. It is a fantastic editor.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's the. Were you using the paid one then?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
I started the paid one pretty early, and it was just like because it remembers everything that you've done.
Right.
So if you do a newsletter from 3 months ago or whatever writing you're doing, it remembers that. It's like, do you want it in this style? What do you want to do? I'll say, hey, keep it more in my voice. This doesn't sound like me,
Yeah.
but it's just more of just act like an editor because every person who like submits a book has an editor. They go back and forth. So this is like having a really smart friend who's an editor
Amongst other things.
amongst other things. Yeah, that's like one of the first things I used it for. That was like, this makes it so much better. I could give it a rough draft, and we'd go back and forth. Like, no, let's change this. I like this better. And you got to use your own judgment. But and like, here's my audience. Here's what they want. They're probably skew more older. They're not like 30 and under.
Right.
They're 35 and up, and they own homes, and they're like this. And some of them don't use computers much. But man, I've gotten like the best feedback from that newsletter.
Oh yeah. Well, so the one that and this will be pertinent to people that are listening to this podcast and are running their own paint business as well. Like once you get an email list of people you've worked for, that list is extremely valuable. And we've done different marketing things through the years, but like right now, if you can get that email list and then send a newsletter, Josh does it once a month, and now we have a pretty decent sized list of
Like
people,
400.
and that's like the people we've worked for over like 20 some years, and then Josh will write with in again emphasize the fact that like he's actually writing the newsletters and he's just having ChatGPT like edit it. I know you tried a couple where you just kind of let it go and you're like, whoa, that was not Josh. Because I could tell when I'm looking at it, I was like, wow, this is not. And you've like, I think that's kind of probably what everybody does is that they let it do more and then they're like, oh, this doesn't sound like me anymore. And then they like ratchet it back.
Yeah.
But the like we get incredibly good responses from that newsletter. Whether or not you use AI to help you, writing a newsletter and sending it like once a month to your email list, your client list is incredibly helpful. And they're the warmest leads. A lot of times, most of the responses that we get are, "Oh, I hope you guys are doing well." And then they are, be like, "Hey, we have this project coming up," and they just kind of remember that you're still operating. And that's a big part of marketing once you're kind of out in the field for a while, just letting people know that you're still doing the thing that you're doing. And then Josh doesn't do too many of them. It's just once. You just do one a month
I do
for.
one a month, but then I make sure that they know it's once a month, because if someone comes into, like, if we do a bid
Mhm.
and we get the bid, and even if we don't, this goes out to them, and they're new, every newsletter I have it say, have a great August, have a great, because they know they're not going to get another one, but I'm not saying we only do one.
Right.
So it's pretty much the first of the month, unless it falls on like a weekend. I put it out and it's like, have a great July, and I just try to put some personal story and make it somewhat relevant to them, or some homeowner trick,
Right.
that, like, hey, we, for exterior paint, if you can do any of your own, we really like this product, and here's a story. Like, the best one was like a story of just when things go terribly wrong.
Yeah, people love
And
those
we've gotten
stories.
so much feedback from those, like, that was, oh, this happened to me in my job, or this, or, oh, that's so horrible. I'm like, really? Oh, cool. I'm glad you like, because you never know. You don't get lots of responses back, but if you get a couple,
Yeah.
it's pretty awesome. But the open rate on mine is like a good open rate for a newsletter. It's like 20%. That's pretty average.
Yeah.
We're between 55 and 65.
That's really good.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
they're people we've known to work for a while.
Right. And I get it all the time. People will be like, even if they don't respond when I go and do a job for them, I told you our one client who's a really good client, she's like, I love y'all's newsletter. And I was like, oh, I'll tell my brother. Like,
Yeah,
that's
I
cool.
appreciate the feedback.
Yeah.
But
She's
anyway,
like, oh,
AI for that has been fantastic, because I remember I was doing a weekly newsletter for, which is nice when you do newsletters and you get more reps. You don't care if, like, oh, what if this person unsubscribes, or what if person does this? I remember I was doing a weekly one for our YouTube people, and like, it was like I had to put it out later that day. I'm like, whatever, AI, just write this. Here's the topic. I put it out, and I felt a little dirty. It was like, it was just it wasn't good. It was the AI slop, and it wasn't me. I was like,
Yeah.
okay, so you kind of like go, oh, sweet, AI everything. Then you pull back, like, no, it needs to be me,
Yes.
but not all just this robot.
Yeah. Retain your voice and so forth.
And then you have used AI recently that helped me too for our paint business.
Yeah, so and I probably about a month or two ago, I switched over to using like the paid Chat GPT, because I've gone on and off with it because I was like trying to find uses for it and I wasn't really using it, and I probably should have been using it more. But so when you pay for it, it really remembers everything, which is incredibly helpful because it keeps what you're talking about in context of everything else you've talked about. And then you can prompt it any way you want to. But the thing that I used it for recently was actually, and I mentioned it in the video I'm working on right now, when I restained my deck. I took pictures of the deck once I prepped it, so there was no like furniture on it or anything, and it was in very rough shape. I will put a picture of it up here now. And then once I figured out what stain I was going to use, I used humans for that to figure that out. Because it's a little squirrely on product recommendations, but I went with a Woodluck stain, solid stain that's an acrylic from, it's a water based from Benjamin Moore. And then I went on Benjamin Moore's website and I looked up the recommended colors for that product, because just with stains they can be a little squirrely. Once I found like 4 or 5 colors I was interested in, I uploaded those pictures to ChatGPT and I said, hey, can you render this deck, generate an image of this deck and these colors? And I did the color code, what company it was from. So like Benjamin Moore, Hamilton Blue, it's like, PM-6 or whatever the color was. And then it did that, and then I could really see what I did: a red one, a green one, a couple different grays, and then Hamilton Blue is the color that I actually landed on. I also did a render. My 5-year-old asked me to do a render of Rainbow Deck, which they don't make the product in those pigments, but she was like, we have to do that. I was like, no, we're not doing that. But it was extremely accurate with the color, like the real colors that I selected, and then when I went and actually painted it Hamilton Blue or stained it Hamilton Blue, it is very, very close to the AI renders, which was very impressive. And it just helped me visualize. Well, I'm pretty good at visualizing what it's going to look like, but just seeing that color everywhere on there was super helpful. And that kind of whittled it down for me really easily. And then I built a privacy wall, and I had built a gazebo on top of the deck, and then I was talking, like going back and forth with ChatGPT about trying to come up with like a privacy solution to it. And then it was like I had it render a shiplap wall on the lattice wall on my deck, and it just looked awesome because I hadn't really thought about doing a shiplap wall like that. And then I figured out how to do a shiplap wall. I built it, and then I stained it the same Hamilton blue, and it looks exactly like the AI render. Like it's so close.
It was crazy because I remember when you showed me the after pictures, I was like, "Is that AI?" You're like, no, 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 this is the real thing.
Yeah,
Here's the AI one. And man, it looks so close.
so close. So I was very impressed with that. And then the on a job that we were already working on, this client particularly, I had to kind of coach through a lot of color selection, like quite a lot. So pretty much the whole color design in the job that we did is from me interacting with them, but I helped steer it quite a bit for where to cut colors off and what colors to go with and all that stuff. And then they wanted to do us to do some work on their staircase, which is like builder's grade from like the mid aughts, I would say, something like that, maybe 2010ish, something like that. But I just took a picture of it, and this was like on the fly
It
on
was
the
like
job.
staircase,
It's
banisters,
painting like
the handrails.
handrail spindles,
Yeah,
staircase, like treads, risers, and and it's like a pretty nice front entryway that's like you know, it's a center staircase that goes straight up the middle of the foyer and then has like swoops that come down. But I took a picture of that, and then I had it render it in the different colorways with like black handrails, white spindles, black treads, black risers, and then I did like white risers, and I just had it like I altered it a couple times, and the render is very good. And I told it like exactly what like tricorn black from this company, like extra white from blah, like I delineated each color for and what product. I don't know how much that matters because it's just gonna put it up white, but it made a very helpful render of what that would look like if we did the color schemes we were talking about. And then I sent it over to I just texted it to our client, and he was like, "Oh man, this is so helpful. I'm going to show these to my wife." And like and then they picked from that set, and it's super helpful because as a painter, a lot of times you have to maybe less so when you first start out, but as soon as you get kind of any experience in the field, you're working with clients. People are so unsure about colors, they're going to ask you your opinion on the color.
they want color consults.
They want color consults, and even if it's just affirming the colors they've already picked, but that is a friction point that because you a lot of times you can't start until the colors are selected, and so that's why this is just a little painter tip. If I can get them to agree to just do stock white on the ceiling and the trim, at least we can start there. And then I'm just worried about them getting like the wall color selected, which we can, cross that bridge when we need to. But enough to get you started. And I did it on another bathroom I was working in. Like I think it was the day, like the morning I started. I already had like primers and everything that I was going to use, but the I just like with this client right next to me, I took a picture of her. I took a picture of the bathroom, and then I just said, "Hey, ChatGPT, can you put agreeable gray on the walls or like whatever the color was?" And it did it, and I was like, "It's gonna look kind of like that." She's like, "I like that." I was like, "Excellent." And then but I could show it to her, and what I've noticed is that ChatGPT is way better at doing the image renders than any of the like paint tools that are on like Sherwin-Williams website.
So much better.
I think Benjamin Moore has one too, but those are, at least as of the recording of this podcast, they're crap. Like a lot of times it puts the wall paint on the ceiling, and like I don't know what's back ending that AI, but ChatGPT is very good. It's gotten recently way better at the visual rendering, which is very cool. So
And then I saw you do that with the client, especially with the handrails and with the deck, and then anyone I showed this to would be like, "See, Dad," or whatever. I'm like, "Hey, they're like, what? I got it." And everyone I've showed, my wife, anyone, immediately they start playing around with colors if they're ever thinking about changing colors,
yep,
adding appliances for whatever room. It's like your own personal interior designer.
yeah,
So we have a client who's a little tricky with picking colors. She's a little older, and it's been a problem in the past. A good client, and she said, "I just got my bathroom redone. Here's the new." It was like a navy blue vanity. They have new tile, new everything. I said, "All right." And this is over the phone. They're a little farther away. "Can you just send me some pictures?" So she sent me some pictures, and I'm like, "What are you looking for?" She's like, "Something that ties everything together." and like a neutral and lighter. And so I took that, I got the pictures, put them in the chat, and you can just drag them right in, super easy. And I gave the exact prompt that she gave me, like light colors, neutral, all that stuff tied together. And I said, give me 2 recommendations, because the less recommendations I can do, and like I didn't look at any other colors, all from, I said, from Sherwin-Williams.
Yeah.
Boom, it gave me it, split it in half with the exact colors in the exact picture. And I said, white ceiling, white trim, and it was perfect. And I sent that picture. It was like a split before it, like eat this color, this color. Man, she picked that color in no time, and it was like the easiest color consult I've ever did. It
Yeah.
was, especially with that client, because she was like, you could spend an hour just picking colors.
Yeah.
So it saved me a good hour just with, I could probably spend 5 minutes doing the rendering and sending it back and forth,
Yeah.
maybe 10. And I didn't have to leave my office. It was awesome.
Yeah. Anytime you don't have to actually go there is quite nice.
But it actually gave me the colors I recommended from like other interior designers and research and everything, because I'm not the best to be like, I kind of know what colors our clients like, but if like, hey, I'm trying to tie this together, I'm not a designer.
Yeah.
I don't try to pretend to be, but Chat's like a very good, it's like a very smart friend that gets a lot of things right, but can still mess things up.
Oh, for sure.
Like it told me Muhammad Ali fought twice in a weekend, which that is not true. I'm like, hey, Dad, because he's a big Muhammad Ali fan. Did he fight like twice in a week? He's like, oh, and he was so nice. He's like, I don't remember that, son.
Yeah.
Then I looked it up, and Chat's like, oh, no, he never fought twice a week. I'm like, you told me yesterday that he did.
Yeah. Yeah. You want to verify and stuff. Yeah. Cause that screwed me I made a video about Flow and I just asked, ChatGPT, I'm like, when was Flow invented? And it was like it was like 1963. And then I was like, cool, why would that be wrong? And it was kind of on the when I first started using it more to help with scripting and stuff. And then I have it in the video, and I made a cool visual of like a timeline going up, and then one of the commenters on YouTube was like, hey man, cool video. He's like, I kind of remember when Flow came out, because he's like I'm old.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm pretty sure it was like the mid 70s, and then I like looked it up again, and I was like, yo, Chad, this was invented in 1974. I was like, oh yeah, sorry. It didn't even say sorry. It didn't even say sorry. It was just like, oh yeah, no, that's when it was invented.
Yeah,
I'm
you're
like,
totally
what
wrong.
the hell, dude?
Why'd you
Like,
believe me yesterday?
it's in a thing, and I can't change it because it's posted, and you can't change stuff on the screen. I can't put text up. So it's just like,
Yeah, but I'll tell you my real favorite thing to use it for.
yeah,
Because one thing I hate is whenever you have to use like new software or like all the like dumb IT stuff. It's not dumb, but I just hate doing it because I'm slow and
Yeah.
I'm terrible at it. So if it's like even like setting up a new Google email.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what do you do next? And all I do is I have Apple, so you do a screen capture
yeah,
of a picture of the screen of what it tells me, and then I drag it over to Chat. Sometimes I use Claude as well, but I would put it to Chat. I'm like, what do I do next?
Yeah.
And then I go to the next screen, because I do like one little baby step at a time, because I friggin' hate all the IT, all the software, all that stuff.
Uh-huh.
Man, it's like your personal like IT assistant, and it's so good because that stuff, they know there's a lot of info, especially if it's like something with Google or like a well-known program. It's just like, oh, you need to do this, enter this, do that, and it within 10 minutes, it's like having a full-time IT person, and it's either free or $20 a month. It's awesome.
Yeah. And I appreciate it because like I'm kind of the resident nerd as far as the tech stuff goes, and like you don't ask me a lot of stuff
I
anymore.
don't ask you those little annoying
great
tech
'cause-
questions. Hey, my email doesn't work. What do I have to do? I'm like, what's this IMAP pop thing and this thing? And I'm just like, Chat, what do I do? I'm like, explain to me like I'm in 7th grade, and explain to me like, now explain to me like I'm in 3rd grade.
Yeah.
Keep going a grade down.
It's like the
All
Michael
right.
Scott now.
Yeah.
Explain to me like I'm 5.
Yes.
But it's so especially with software, because I'm decent with computers, but like just any software that's been around for a while. So I use like Final Cut and some stuff for editing. It knows every single because those rules are established, and it has already like operate. It knows all that stuff. So you're like, hey, it's very good at troubleshooting what your technical issues are. Which is extremely helpful, because I know some guys, I would imagine the younger guys are going to be more comfortable with technology, but if you're like, Josh and I are now in our 40s, so like if you're, as new stuff's coming up, it's really nice to be like, yo, what's going on with this? How can I link this together? Like it's a lot of is like linking crap to other crap, and then things aren't talking to things, and it's just super frustrating. And if it is a very helpful like almost IT guy that can help you troubleshoot through a technical issue, and it's very good with that. And a lot of the like like the jobber like if you have a CRM software, it's very likely going to know
Yeah,
how to
use it for
navigate through
that.
that. So
How do I link my website to this? How do I set up this in my website? I'm like, oh,
yeah,
because you don't a lot of that stuff you just don't do for like months and months or even
right.
like a year, and you go back to like, "Ah, dude, how do I put this over here? Do that? And it's like, was it Shift Command 4
Yeah,
screen capture? I drag it in. It kind of reminds me of the old school video game guides back in the day. If we remember playing
yeah.
Tomb Raider, where do I go next? Like take 3 steps to the right and then jump. You're like, okay,
It was Tomb Raider 2 that we did that.
yes, it was
Yeah.
every step would be
Dude,
like,
we had like one cousin on the tome of like this crazy
yes.
thick game guide. He was like, "All right, 2 steps forward, stop right there. All right, now jump forward." And it was
Side
like,
side flip, pull
si-
the lever. Okay, okay.
"Got it,
Save it,
got it,
save it,
got
save
it,
it.
got
Move
it.
on.
Save it." Yeah,
Don't die.
yeah. There was no save crystals in that one, so that was much better. But yeah, it's been so like color selection's a big one for painters. Like your back end tech support also super helpful. The product stuff, you it's better to talk to guys that have used whatever product you're thinking about, or like a store manager or a rep that actually knows what they're doing. In general, at you know, if you go to a Benjamin Moore store or a Sherwin-Williams store, it's very location dependent as to uh, how knowledgeable the staff is. A lot of times you get like aged paint wizards that have been there forever. And then we have one that we really like who's like kind of who we go to for like staining stuff. And he knows like all that stuff.
He's
He's
our
just,
oracle for painting.
yes, and he's been very helpful to like actually getting us to the right product, finding like good color matches, all that stuff. So it's good to have what do they call it in the like in the
Humans.
and it's like hument is
Oh
like
yeah.
the term in like the espionage world, but that's human intelligence. Like you actually want someone that's got some experience with it. Because there's some like ChatGPT has never picked up a paintbrush in its life and applied paint or used a sprayer or any of that stuff. Yeah, because I've used it for product selection before, but like, hey, what should I use here? And then it was not anywhere close to what I was like, definitely not. Definitely would not want to use that product in that like application context. So, but yeah, as long as you understand the some of the limits of it and then kind of cross reference it, like because you use it a lot for your stock research and
Yes.
stuff, and then you've been using a lot of cross referencing between ChatGPT and Claude,
Yes.
which like I don't know how you said Claude's not very good with the image stuff yet.
Claude doesn't make images.
Okay,
It can analyze an image, but Chat is amazing with images, so it's much better for painting.
yeah, I think Claude has another like I think it has
They do
an
some coding stuff
yeah
that I don't use, but it's very good on the financials for the stock research that I do. And Chat's great too, but I'll kind of have like my preferences for each one. And then if I'm debate, I'll cross reference. I'm like, hey, and I'll ask the same question to both. But for painting and for like what I use it for, color recommendations, renderings for like a client, give me a picture of this, I'll put it with this color. ChatGPT's the best right now, and
yeah
it's getting always getting like a little better and a
yep
little better. It's not like going to be oh my goodness, because sometimes I'll be like, hey, could you put Jeremy in a thumbnail? I want this because we have a thumbnail guy over in the Philippines and he's awesome. What's up, Adrian?
yeah
And they put it and they'll give you like a blonde beard, and
yeah.
then but one time it made me a handsome Josh.
Oh, dude,
So
they like
they chatted me up. I was
yeah
like, dude, I like that guy better. Like, it totally wasn't me,
yeah.
but
You had
like
like
an
a
awesome
real
chin. I got
really
more jacked.
you had like a really like chiseled jawline and like
Yeah.
the yeah. I was
And it
like,
made you look
whoa.
angry. I'm like,
I
whoa.
looked real mad.
I feel like chat was like just pumping me up.
Yeah, I was like, thanks, dude.
Yeah,
Gas me up a
man.
bit.
Appreciate that. But I mean, I love it for it's like a great editor for text. It's anything with words is pretty darn good.
Yeah,
And then like I said, like a interior designer, awesome. And just what was it? Oh, like an IT.
Yeah.
It's like having almost a full-time IT guy on your staff
Yep.
for $20 a month. It's insane.
Yeah, and also if you had questions about like insurance, different stuff like that,
Yeah.
it's going to get you pretty in the ballpark
It'll
on that
get you in
stuff.
the ballpark, especially if you're completely clueless and you're like, I don't know what to do for this. Like, it'll be like, hey, it'll get you close. It might not have the best recommendation, but it'll get you like 80% there.
Yeah, and Paul was telling me that a lot of
Paul is the guy from Benjamin Moore
the
he's the Oracle.
resident paint wizard.
Yeah.
He was saying that so a lot of interior designers really like the Benjamin Moore ecosystem. They're very like kind of designery oriented. That's generally what they gravitate towards. They like the color palettes and so forth. But he was saying that they were bitching because ChatGPT was taking their work, which like made me laugh because no shade on any interior designer that's actually really good, but a lot of them are super annoying to work for. And I just thought it was funny that like people just figured out exactly what we were talking about, where they can take a picture of their room, say put this color on the walls, this on the ceiling, this on the trim, and it does it. And they just need a visual representation of what it's going to look like or something close.
Yes.
And that's been like eating up some work. I'm like, oh, that made me laugh. I was like, yeah, I could see that because, dude, uh, just to put it into context, we've worked with interior designers. The good
Some are
ones,
great.
the good ones are amazing, and they put together combinations that you're like, wow, this is fantastic. It's fun to paint those jobs and do that. We've had others, one particularly that they picked 17 different beiges and
For one house.
for one house, and it was a continuous interior. So we were doing like little wall was this
It was a
big.
rancher.
It was a rancher, and it was we had so many trays out, so many, and it was so annoying, and you could not tell the difference visually
No.
of the beiges. It was so obnoxious, and
The touch-ups were a nightmare.
oh my goodness, it was like paint by numbers. Like we had to like
insane.
label. Josh had tape on certain things. We just had it was like every tray we had. It was
Closet for master bedroom.
oh my gosh.
This wall over here. I was like, dude, this is insane.
And they just kept coming in and being like, "Oh, maybe this should be this beige," and switch it. You're like, "Get out of here!"
So when I use chat to do interior design work, I just think of them like,
Yeah,
yes,
yes.
yes.
But yeah, as far as like painting and stuff goes, that's that I will be using a lot more. And I did it on like a shutter job, just taking a picture, being like, make the shutters this color, and it's very good at
Well,
rendering
you
it.
can give, and it's a good. I mean, it's accurate. It shows
Yeah.
what the color actually looks like without you having to do a sample, without you having to get the any paint and put it on.
Yeah, because one of the things that people struggle with, because I do a lot of color
You've done hundreds and hundreds.
hundreds of color consults with people at this point, and the thing that I've figured out is that so if you're a painter, you can look at a swatch, and if you're looking at a color deck, the squares aren't very big. They're like, I don't know, 1 inch or 2 inches by 2 inches or something like that. You can kind of either you've used the color before, or generally your visual imagination is going to be really accurate, because you're going to be like, oh, I've painted this color before. I know what it's going to look like in this room. I can picture it just by looking at it and seeing if it's going to work in the room. A lot of people can't do that. They don't have good like visual imaginations. So they have a hard time projecting forward and multiplying that little color out by, a multiple of 1,000 or whatever, how much surface area it's going to cover in the room. So, when you had to do it before, either, they have companies like Samplize that'll give you a bigger stick-on thing that you can say like, okay, I'm gonna, like, I can see a little bit more of the color and different lights and things like that. And then you can take it all the way to actually getting a paint sample, which is like, slightly less than a quart of crappy paint. It's just supposed to be the color representation, not an actual good paint. And so you can paint a whole wall, or you can paint a big section of it and then get more and more of it. But now you're getting into like applying product, and then
it's an hour to do 2 coats and this and drive there and all that.
and if the client does it themselves, a lot of times they put it on poorly. So now you've got to like
I got to spackle and sand all this.
sand that. Probably my favorite is when they put the sample on fresh drywall, and you're like, okay, cool. So
And then you have to sand into the fresh drywall, and it makes it worse.
yeah, so then
because
you
there's
end
no-
up skim coating.
Yeah,
It's
then
just
you're
the whole
like,
thing.
yeah.
Versus
Thanks for that.
versus this, you can you could send it over, and you can do like try colors that you may otherwise wouldn't have gone with the sample because there's no cost to it. You're
No,
just
you can say, hey,
generating.
do an accent wall where the fireplace is in
Yeah,
this color. Make these walls this. Now change it. Now invert it. You can do whatever you want.
yeah. So it's just very, and they need kind of a reference point of like what this is going to look like carried out throughout the whole room. And I will say, because this is what I tell my clients as well, when you're looking at colors on your phone, those are not how they're going to look in general. It's going to get you in the ballpark because your phone or your computer screen is backlit by either LEDs or OLEDs that the light's coming from within the phone outward into your eyeballs. Whereas all the paint that you're going to be doing in a room, light hits the paint that bounces off the wall and then it goes into your eyeball. So the colors are going to look different. It also depends on like people's settings on their phones. They can tweak the color grade. You have like color drift on monitors and phones, so like it's not 100% accurate on the color, but like when it can get you much more in the ballpark, which is usually what they're going for. So it is very helpful. Just kind of be aware it's not quite the same as looking at the color actually on the wall. So, because you have to kind of see how it interacts with the light. And then if you're doing stuff for outside, you can also tell it to, the better you prompt it, the more accurate your things are going to get. So make sure like give it the color code, what manufacturer what product you want it in. And then also like daylight. You could say like, what does it look like at dusk? What does it look like in bright daylight? Like you can generate that pretty well. So those are my caveats on the difference between seeing it on your phone and actually in real life. So
It's quite helpful. I'm a big fan.
yeah,
I'm pro AI.
yeah. Well, and I thought we could kind of wrap up or talk about it. Where are you at all worried that it's going to take your job?
If it takes our jobs, all the other jobs will have been taken, and we will have zero clients by that point. So, but no, I'm not.
So because I
Like me, I'll say I work in percentages. So
right,
the fact that AI is going to steal everyone's job and we're all doing nothing, and the dystopian robots are all shooting everyone and killing everyone, point like 0.00001%. There's always a percent chance. But I think it is AI was pretty much made if you're a small business owner, like it's like you can hire an IT guy, you can have a full-time editor for any like text work that you do, and you have a now interior designer all on staff for $20 a month
yep,
total.
yeah,
Very smart. They don't get everything right perfect, and it's getting a bit better, month by month, and it is fantastic. It is like I felt like it was built for me.
yeah, yeah. Well, and to for it to take like a so if AI was going to be a painter, like a robot shows up to somebody's house and can go in and do all the stuff that we do, from like client interaction to then like actually applying the paint. They're not like uniform services, so like it's not because I have friends that'll send me like a paint robot that's like
Hmm.
spraying in a big factory, and I'm like, they've controlled all the variables for that robot. You would need, I don't know, like a human-ish robot, or I've been trying to think of like how would it replace what we do, because everyone's like, oh, you think it's not going to be your job, but it could be.
Yes, but if you're on a computer all day, it's going for that job first because it's
Yeah,
very good at words
yeah.
and doing stuff on a computer.
Well, that's what I think's so funny, because we work for a lot of well-to-do folks in our area, and it used to be because we talk to the parents. That's usually who's cutting the checks, and now their kids are at different ages because we've been in the field for a while and doing this and talking to them, and it's the first time I think ever where I've had parents be genuinely interested of like how does someone get into the trades versus like they want their kid to go into actuarial science or
Mm-hmm.
insurance or like
Or coding.
finance, coding,
Yeah.
like all those kind of jobs where they're like, oh, well, yeah, I mean, we're just like, yeah, we have plenty of work. And like, if they have a goose smearing machine, like, I don't, it's,
Dude, they make a goo smear machine. I'll be the first one to buy that thing.
well, because I think
Give
it's,
me the goo drone. I will.
Yeah, well, just because we were talking about it the other day, but I think a lot of times it's doing stuff like, so accounting is one that people are like, oh, accountants are done. And I think more likely you're going to have like one accountant that can do the work of like 10 with all these,
It just enhances your skills.
enhances your skills. So I was like, okay, for painting, I think we've bitched about this before, but if they had like a Fez tool made like a Roomba that like attached itself to the wall, and then you could fill it with joint compound, and it would like go over the wall like a vacuum and like skim it and just make sure the surface is completely prepped perfectly.
Yeah.
Like if it had something like that, and I just thought of Fez tool because they have like some of the more advanced tools that we've used from like sanding to finish stuff. Like if they had something like that, or like maybe if you had like, I know they have drones that have spray guns on them and they fly those around to get like things that are really hard to get, but I don't know how
Okay.
accurate those are.
Yeah.
And then you have like wind and everything. It was like,
Yeah, it's not high up on the things to AI take over. Paintings like probably number 6,227 on the list.
well, the trades are pretty safe right now. But I think what it can help with a lot is your all the back end stuff, the
Yeah, the
admin, your
annoying back
marketing,
end.
writing ad copy, like any of that kind of
Yeah,
stuff that most guys aren't interested in. It's like you don't need you can have a wonderful assistant take care of a lot of that for you,
yes,
and then
it is
just
the best hire you will ever make.
so I feel pretty confident in saying for at least the foreseeable future, I'd say like for the next 10 years, I think we'll still be
Dude,
smearing goo
yeah,
on
dude.
stuff.
No, I'm not. I'm not. Well, it's a simple interest versus compound interest, and it was like this with other things. I might be wrong here, but they're like it's getting so much better. If it keeps getting better at this rate, eventually it'll be super intelligent. It'll this and it'll just do everything because it's so smart, can do it. But it's kind of like with computing and computing power when computers were newer in like the 90s, like how much faster it's getting, and like even video games, the graphics are getting better.
Yeah.
And at some point it's not compounding, like, if $100 turns, like, say if it compounds at 20% a year, it's $120. Then the next year 20%, you're getting 20% on 120. But simple interest to me, maybe this is too dumb and too nerdy, but it'd be like, say if you get 20% every year on $100, but then it's, so you're at 100, then you're at 120, and
Uh,
then instead of compounding on the 120, it's compounding on the original 100. So now you're at 140 and
right.
100, and the thing is that is so much slower of a process, and it makes a lot of leaps up front. And maybe I'm completely wrong here. I just don't see it, like, I just don't view it. I view it as a great tool that I want to use and I want to get better at, because I'm not going to hire an interior designer, I'm not going to hire an IT guy, and I'm not going to hire an editor for my newsletter. Like,
Yeah.
I was never going to hire people to do that, but now I can for $20 a month.
Right.
It's awesome. And
Yeah.
and our stuff is better.
You're right.
Like, my newsletter's better. Our interior designing, our business is better because of AI.
Yeah. Yeah. And I was just trying to think of like, maybe if it could do like simple like if you had a robot that washed out your brushes,
Oh, that'd be
like
fantastic.
that would be cool. But then I'm like, how much would that robot cost to accomplish this
Yeah,
task?
that's
And
what
then
it comes down to.
so
But like, it can do it, like if it's doing in a car factory where it's putting in a few bolts or something like that. That's what the robots do.
right, right. Because I remember Elon Musk was talking about how they like in his factory in Texas, the like stuff that's super easy for humans is really hard for robots. And I remember like one of his example was like you have two hoses that just need to get connected, and the robot could not do that because like
Hmm.
the they're all like flip flopping around, and then for a human you just grab both of them, and it was like half a second for you to make that connection, and the robot was like going nuts to try and figure it out. So they if you were like gonna hire, if you had like an android robot that would show up and actually like do the painting, like it's going to be part of the crew, it would have to be uh, and I know they're trying to do this, is making like a helper robot that is affordable. But I was wondering, like, how heavy are they? Like, are they going to mess up someone's home? Like, especially you're dealing with paint that's
Dude, I want
open.
someone to do the dishes,
Yeah.
like laundry. Oh God, that would
Yeah.
be amazing.
Yeah. So I'm not. Anyway, I've thought about it a bit. I'm like, I'm not. I'm pretty. I'm pretty sure I'm going to be smearing goo on stuff for quite some time. And then I would like if they gave me like some kind of Iron Man suit that I had like hover boots and then I didn't even have to use a ladder.
Yeah,
That'd be cool.
that would be.
And Festool has the exoskeleton where you can like it's kind of like a it's I haven't used it, and I know they have like military versions of it too, but it basically supports your arms and it wraps around your back so you can hold a heavy tool like their big sander that sands drywall on the ceiling, and then it supports that. And you're like, okay, that's getting a little
Yeah,
like,
get our Mech Warrior painter suit.
yeah, yeah.
That'd be
So,
cool.
but other than that, I'm not too concerned. Any other hot takes on AI other than
No, I mean
it's
we're just a silly, simple painter, but I do like AI. Big fan of it. And then we should probably point the people to the Goo Crew.
yes. Yeah, if you're listening to this podcast and you are a painter starting out, or you're a painter that's on a crew of 1 to 5 or even more, doesn't really matter.
You could be or just any paint contractor.
Any
really.
paint contractor, come on over to the Goo Crew on School. That is our online community over there, and for the first however many members, we're going to cut it off at some point.
Probably 150
150 or so. Founding members will get in for free
for life.
and then we're going to have for life, and then we're going to have paywall go up. But we're really trying to make that community paint contractors helping other paint contractors, and Josh and I have some plans to make that a very compelling and useful use of your time.
Trying to make it the most useful place for paint contractors to go.
Yep.
We'll help you out with what you need help with. So
Yep.
we're working on the taglines and everything, but we're just interested in what do you guys need? What do you want? And how can we help?
And then helping you build a paint company you would actually want to operate. We're working on all the fiddly bits, but check out the Goo Crew on School. If it's under 150 members, it's free to join, and who knows where it's at by the time you listen to this. So, Josh, do you have anything else to add today, or is that going to do it?
No, sir. That's our hot take on paint contractors talking about AI.
Yeah. Hey, it is useful for stuff. I'm not worried about the robots, although it would be sweet if you rolled up to like a huge job site and you had one of those like tanks from the Phantom Menace where like the big rack of droids came out and you like deployed them in their front yard. And that'd be sweet.
Yeah, if I didn't have to jump on a 32-foot ladder to get some of this high stuff, that'd be great. I'd send them up there in a heartbeat.
It'd be like, hold on, let me park my droid army out front. So, but until then, it's just us guys and gals just getting out there and smearing some goo around. So, alrighty, folks. Well, until next time, y'all take it easy, work smart, and have a good one. Peace.